Hi everyone, Ryan here from Fight Game Analysis, and today we're going to be talking about the upcoming fight between Colby Covington and Jorge Masvidal. But before we jump into that, if you've been enjoying the content, please go ahead and click on the like button and also subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate your support. Alright, main event UFC 272. Colby Covington versus Jorge Masvidal. Man, we are almost here, just a few days out from the fight at this point. This is one that we've been seeing coming. We've been knowing that it's going to be here for a while. These dudes, the bad blood between them is real. It's legit. These guys used to be roommates and training partners, hanging out all the time, cornering each other, just having each other's back, really working with each other inside of the sport. Then it all ends up going bad. Now they want to go in there and tear each other's heads off. I mean, it goes down that way sometimes, right? Sometimes you see these things, they're manufactured. You know they're not legit. People are just trying to build it up, kind of sell it for the fans and for the tickets, but this one's for real, and that's always interesting. It's always interesting to see how that's going to go. The only thing that could make it bad was if it was anticlimactic, but I just got a feeling that it's not going to end up that way, right? So on the one hand, we've got Jorge Masvidal. Now, the guy's been around for a while. It was interesting. He called himself like the decision king or the split decision king, as far as losing these close decisions for a long time. Then he goes to the reality show, comes back with this new mentality. Street Jesus out here baptizing people, man, tearing their heads off, utilizing all of the skills that he's got available to him. And then he just superstar rockets to fame with the incredible knockout that he scores over Ben Askren. Right? The build up to it was hilarious. He's calling him a crotch sniffer and talking bad about wrestling, and that's not how men fight or whatever. And then goes out there and just delivers this phenomenal flying knee knockout. So it's game over after that, right? I mean, he's out there just living it up. Gets the fight with Nate Diaz for the BMF belt. We see The Rock out there handing him the belt. And look, Jorge Masvidal, for all the talk, for all the glamour, for all the bad guy publicity and all that kind of stuff going on, make no mistake about it, the man knows how to fight. He is a striker through and through. Does great work with his hands. Also does very good kicking. Love the way he attacks the legs. He gets those shots off quick. All the way since we saw him in the backyards in Miami, fighting Kimbo Slice's protege, right? He's not new to this. Didn't come up in the traditional martial arts sense. You never saw him wearing a gi doing taekwondo or anything like that. You don't see Jorge Masvidal's name on any Shotokan karate dojos. He just came up in the streets, street fighting, and then cultivated that, polished it, and turned it into what you see today, that he can use it and perform at the highest level in a sports setting. And his hands are beautiful. I mean, look at those combinations that he landed on Nate Diaz. Look at those combinations that he was landing on Usman in their first fight. Just the way that he controls the gap, the counter shots that he uses. Look at the speed that he brings to the table. Look at the way he was able to get off on Donald Cerrone, a man who is a great striker in his own right. I mean, the striking that Jorge Masvidal has is top-notch. I made a video a little bit earlier talking about whether or not Colby Covington can stand with him. Make no mistake about it, if this was a kickboxing match over the course of 1 round or 5, Covington would not be able to win that fight. If this was only about striking, Colby Covington would not be able to stand with him. Jorge Masvidal is that much better as a striker. That being said, it's an MMA fight, and he can stand with him because of the threat of the takedown. I go into the details a little bit more in that video. Go ahead, check it out. You can see how I break down the different aspects of it. But to give the summary here, he can stand with him because he's so good at the takedown. And the threat of the takedown makes Masvidal switch up his striking a little bit, which allows Colby Covington to be able to stand with him and strike in moments, at times. A minute here, 2 minutes there. But not just, we're going to stand out here in the middle of the octagon and we're going to throw hands for 25 minutes and see who comes out as the victor. We know who that's going to be. If that's the way that they decided to fight it. If these guys decided to take the approach that Colby Covington and Usman took in their first fight, where it was just, hey, it's going to be a gentleman's agreement, no takedowns, we're just going to go out here and we're going to slug it out. If that were to happen, then Jorge Masvidal is coming out with the victory. But this is an MMA fight, and we know 2 things about Colby Covington. We know that he's a phenomenal wrestler, and we know that his cardio is basically unmatched. Right? The cardio king with the extra lung, all of these things. And that's what he's going to bring to the table here that, in my opinion, is going to make the difference. It's that wrestling and that cardio. And it's really the way he uses the cardio, right? Because it's the pressure that he applies. He never lets up foot on the gas pedal. Now, Jorge Masvidal is comfortable fighting backwards. We know that he can control the gap. We know that he can get his counter shots off. Got a nice little counter left hook. He's got some good kicks that he can use to slow things up, understands angles and how to circle around. He's got all those things in his bag. He knows how to do that. But man, it is tiring fighting backwards for 25 minutes. It's tiring getting taken down maybe 2-3 times around, or getting your back up against the cage and Covington's laying on you. Man, Colby Covington is big and strong for the division. He's not a 155-pounder. He's a 170. Masvidal used to be able to make 155. It wasn't his weight class. He wasn't supposed to be there. He wasn't able to perform at his best, but he could make it. Colby Covington's at 170 pounds. And he is a legit wrestler at 170 pounds who does not get tired, who does not stop, who can take you down and keep you down. He's got this striking technique that, originally when he was coming up, Joe Rogan used to like to compare it to Nate Diaz, or Nate and Nick Diaz, in the way that it's just tap, 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 tap. Right? Every shot's like out there 50, 60%. And he can do that. He can throw so many of them. And then as he starts to wear you down, he works in the hard ones. Now, he doesn't have the subtleties and the nuance to his striking game. He's not out there setting traps and landing big counter shots. Loves just the left hand and the right hook. His kicks look kind of forced. He's got them, but they're a little bit slower than Masvidal. They're not quite as versatile. His balance isn't quite as good when he gets it off and he's there to be countered. His defense isn't slick, doesn't get his head off the center line and stuff. He eats a lot of shots. He's tough, though, but he eats a lot of shots. But man, what's Masvidal going to do when that pressure is just getting applied minute after minute after minute? Covington's able to continue to walk him down and land those shots. He's able to cut the octagon off. Right, Masvidal's trying to work the angles. Colby Covington's able to cut the octagon off, get him against the cage, get that good head position in the clinch, and then score the takedown. It's going to be shades of Usman Masvidal all over again, I feel like. So, let me know what you guys think. I'm taking Colby Covington in this one. I think the difference is going to be that pressure, that wrestling, and the fact that he never has to let up because his cardio is it's just almost otherworldly, So, am I underestimating what Masvidal brings to the table? I mean, I know that striking is good, man, but without having knockout power, without having that true, legitimate knockout power, it's going to be tough to stop whatever Covington brings. I mean, look at all those shots Jorge Masvidal was able to get off on Diaz. Still didn't get him out of there. Still could not knock him out and stop him. Let me know what you guys think.